Hi, I'm Mark Scherer. I'm the CEO and founder of Encompassing Life and the host of the Wellness Revolution podcast. And today we have a transplant from Australia who is now living in LA by ways of China and has done a variety of businesses, quite the entrepreneur from restaurants to tampons. And she has a company called the Tampon Tribe, and her name is Jennifer Eden. And she is a bundle of energy and a tremendous I got a feeling that she has a high level of integrity and a high level of passion for what she's doing because she has um, turned an issue she was having into a business for herself. So, Jennifer, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Mark. Great to be here.
Yeah, it's great to have you as well. So, we were speaking earlier, and you've had quite a journey in your life of entrepreneurship from newscaster
Mhm.
to restaurant owner to the CEO of the Tampon Tribe. Have you done any other entrepreneur as well before these?
I don't know if it was entrepreneur, but I think since I was a little kid and I wanted a pair of redstone roller skates, and my mum said you better go get a job, and so I was 8, so I did, and so I've kind of been working. I don't know if you call it entrepreneurial pursuits, but working ever since, from delivering papers and working fast food and in kitchens when I was a kid, all the way through to where we are now. But, I'm someone that really enjoys different experiences in life. And I know that that's not for everyone. But I've been really fortunate. I've also worked in hotels, and I was a tennis coach for a while, and just everything. I think life has so much to offer. So I like to take opportunities and experiences when they come. And I
So
guess
you've got
that,
so you've made life your own Garden of Eden, and you've gone through picking a lot of flowers,
I guess you could say that. Yeah. And hopefully we'll continue to as well. I'm not at the end just yet.
collecting quite the bouquet. Yes,
True.
awesome. Can you share a little bit about your motivation for the Tampon Tribe and where you are and where you're headed with it?
Yes, of course, Mark. So Tampon Tribe really began as a result of my own journey through endometriosis. And, I was one of those people who would be doubling over in pain every month, crawling to the kitchen to eat a banana, to have the tablets. It wasn't fun. And of course, all you're told is deal with it, right?
Just the way
Uh,
it is.
that's the way it is. And, I started researching and found that actually a lot of the chemicals in tampons and pads could be exacerbating my pain. I'm mind blown, like what? So I switched over to totally certified organic products from Europe and noticed such a dramatic shift in my body. Everything ended, all the pain, which I couldn't quite believe it. And then a few other things happened to lead me to test the product, to say, hey, could we bring this to the US? Is this something we can build? And at the same time, the sustainability revolution was really right in front of us. And we noticed a lot of plastic in period products, on tampon applicators, wrapping the pads, and it still exists in a lot of brands. So it was myself and my business partner, Gabby, who thought, can we put together a brand that not only is great for people's health, but also great for the planet? And that was 7 or 8 years ago. And now here we are, so yeah, it's been a great evolution.
How big is your outreach with your products?
We're a 7, nearly 8-figure business at the moment, Mark, and we actually sell omni-channel. So we sell direct to consumer, we sell wholesale into retail, we do B2B, we sell on Amazon, and we also private label. So we have a great reach. And there have been a lot of reports that have come out over the last 3 months about the toxins in everyday tampons, and
Hmm.
we've just seen business go through the roof. It's something we already knew,
Hmm.
but in business, you always have that tipping point of educating and also letting people find out things for themselves. And we spoke about that a little earlier, how sometimes you have to be in a position where you know you need to change your health, or you're noticing issues with the product, or a big report comes out and says, hey, these products are not good
Hmm.
for you. So we've seen a great uptick, particularly in our direct to consumer line over the last few months, which is really great, because if you can create a product that has impact, which is our whole mission, then I think it really is something to worth putting those hard yards in. It's a
Hmm.
lot of work. So yeah.
When you were a reporter, you said you were reporting in Australia and you also reported in China. Were you like an investigative reporter or?
No, I was in news. So I started in news, and I started in country Australia, which every young reporter starts.
Mhm.
And then I moved to the metropolitan centres. And then I also did radio. So I had a breakfast radio program in Australia as well, which was really fun. That was really dynamic, actually. And then when I went to China, I started anchoring radio news there. It was like an exchange between the
Mhm.
stations, and covered everything from there on. I worked for some newspapers, worked for different TV stations, doing business beats, doing editing, doing running the news programs, and also did some weather as well, which was hilarious. So anything in the broadcast field, but I don't know if I have the patience for the true investigative reporting, because that's a long play.
Right,
I think you might find, in my experience, particularly with the entrepreneurs I'm around, we're more sprinters. you know,
right.
what I used to love about news is that it's either on the hour or in the evening, and that's it. There is nothing more you can do. I mean, you had some stories you were working on, but it's immediate and it's fast and it's live. And that's what I really enjoy about business as well,
Gotcha,
from my perspective. We run short sprints, we make quick decisions, we put out a lot of fires, and we have to do it quickly.
gotcha.
So I think, yeah, that's how it's worked out for me.
To me, just knowing you this short period of time, it seemed like you have a really strong internal compass
Yes.
and quite a nose for you where you could sniff out BS really quickly. Because you asked me
Yeah.
some, yeah, you asked me some really direct, you asked me some direct questions like, "What's your podcast about?" I could tell you're sniffing.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's an Australian trait as well. I just like to get straight to the point. We
Me
don't need to
too.
shortcut anything.
Me
This is
too.
what it is. That's it, right? And
Yeah.
that's not a bad thing. And so it's funny because, sometimes in different cultures, I've lived in different parts of the world, adapting to a lot of the pleasantries and the behaviors. And I'm like, I haven't got time. I need to just get
Yeah,
this done.
yeah. Me, me too. Like, just get to the bottom line. What is it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it's funny you mention an internal compass, because I've always trusted myself pretty well, Mark.
Hmm.
Of course, you oscillate on some decisions. You have to, particularly in business. But I think I was brought up in a way to go forward and trust what you're putting in front of yourself, that you'll be okay.
Which would
So,
explain your roller skates at the age of 8.
right. Funny, huh?
That's a great story. Could you mind sharing that with the entrepreneur spirit, where it came from in you?
Yeah, in terms of even my family, I think I'm really fortunate to have grown up in a supportive family where I saw my parents, if something didn't go right, which of course happens, they found solutions. I can't remember a time where my mum wasn't doing something on the side, whether it was Nutrimatics, whether it was, a different business, a sport, interest groups, and my father the same. And even through a lot of the hard times, they've had this positive and not toxic positivity, but they've had something that's kept them going. And I think that often comes from maybe your heritage a little bit. So both my parents were immigrants and my mum was a refugee. So coming in and landing in a new country and having that spirit of from nothing to something, I do think permeates through in spirit, and it can go either way, right? You can dwell on that, or you can be happy to be where we are. And so I saw my parents start businesses. They had a health food shop as well. My mum was a teacher and my dad is a commercial artist. So they always had stuff on the go, which was great, and enough time for myself and my brother. And we still had that support, very thankfully, from them today.
Awesome. So let's get back into the Tampon Tribe.
Sure.
And can you tell them about your products you have? How many
Yeah.
SKUs? Yeah.
Sure. We actually have a lot of SKUs now because we put on period underwear. So with period underwear comes colors and sizes and styles. So, which was interesting because I hadn't thought about that and what
This is
clothing.
this is the first I've heard of period in underwear, actually.
Right.
Is this new or?
It is somewhat new and it's really popular. We sell out of it all the time. So period underwear is basically a pair of underpants that has an absorbent gusset. And it works really, really well. So people will use it instead of tampons and pads or alongside a tampon in case there are any leaks. Ours are all organic cotton as well, so really safe. And they're also PFAS free. And that's a big part of the period space is looking what toxins and chemicals are in your products. So period underwear is huge, particularly in the teens and tweens market. So we're developing a few new products there. And then we have the traditional products. So we have tampons, pads, and liners,
Mhm.
all certified organic cotton, all vegan, all plastic free. And then we have our menstrual cup as well. We
Mhm.
don't use a silicone. We use a medical grade TPE, which is a little more malleable, a little more comfy.
Mhm.
And we see it as a little safer. It's used in medical procedures, heart stents and the like. And we manufacture those in Germany. So yeah, we have a full line and we're on retail shelves as well in select grocery and natural
Such
stores.
such as?
So we're in the New Seasons, New Leaf markets on the West Coast. We're in HEB Central markets, and
Really?
then about 350 small boutique stores, and we're really picking up steam in the retail space right now. In terms of business, our focus has actually been in the B2B space for the last few years. So we sell into a lot of hotels, schools, businesses, and we've been focusing on that for the last few years. And Q3 this year, we've kind of taken a direction back into that D2C and retail arenas and
Hmm.
Amazon.
Gotcha. So you said you're an HEB Central Market, not just HEB regular, correct?
The central market, yes.
Whole Foods too as well, or?
Not in Whole Foods, no. We're looking at Whole Foods at the moment. They have a couple of their own legacy products that they have in there. And it'll be really interesting to see how this latest study and this latest reports into the toxins in tampons, even some organic ones, will impact the reviews because they have category reviews, with
Mhm.
retail. So when they come around, it'll be really interesting to see how that plays out. And then there are a lot of states, California being one of them, that have just mandated that no forever chemicals can be in any period products on the shelves. And I'm not sure how they're going to manage that because there are a lot of brands
Mhm.
with forever chemicals in their products. So that should be really interesting. And it's opened a huge opportunity for us as a company.
Gotcha. Interesting. What else? What other questions do I have for you? Where are your products manufactured?
So we manufacture our products in Europe. And we do that for a couple of reasons. So, the organic certifications in Europe are GOTS and ICEA. They're the highest level of organic certifications that you can get. And they look at things not just like the quality of the cotton,
Mhm.
but they look at the manufacturing process. They look at how you package items. They look at fair workplaces, which is really important to us.
Mhm.
And you cannot carry those certifications without passing all of those tests. You do have another certification that's also pretty good, OCS, slightly different levels of what they deem to be organic. So we manufacture, as I say, ours in Europe. I'd love to manufacture them here in the US. Hopefully, we'll get to that stage
Mhm.
where one, there'll be the level of organic cotton grown to those standards, and two, there'll be manufacturing facilities, which there is not right now in the
Gotcha.
US.
So can you use other things besides cotton, like maybe like hemp or something? Is it,
Yeah, yeah, you
yeah.
definitely can. You can use hemp, and there are some manufacturers here in the US using hemp. One of our manufacturers that we use for our private label in China actually does hemp as well. We would like it to see it tested a bit more before we'd use it in our products. And what you've got to look at as well is not just the raw material, but how it's processed. And that's very important to us. What chemicals are being used, how it's being cleaned, how it's being sanitized.
Mm-hmm.
You'll find some brands that say organic. When you look closely, they're still using titanium dioxide, which is mind blowing to me.
Mm-hmm.
That should be on no things. You know, it's banned in Europe. It's a class 2 carcinogen in Europe.
Right.
Why are we allowing titanium dioxide on our products? And that's a challenge. So anyone who's at home, or if you're listening, have a look on your pads and your tampons and your ingredients.
Mm-hmm.
It's mind blowing, particularly in pads, what is in them. Plastics and chemicals and rayons and synthetics, in my opinion, none of which should be near your body, particularly in a very absorbent, intimate area.
Gotcha.
So, and it's funny, as you know, you speak to a lot of business people, you sometimes can get really tempted, like, hey, if we cut this corner, we can save a bit of money, right?
Right.
But to me, you have a responsibility when you start a business and when you're looking at a product that impacts people's health. I think that responsibility tenfolds, 100 folds.
Right.
So we feel it's our responsibility to provide the highest quality product, the safest product, for the most affordable price possible.
Gotcha. At one time I had a raw food company,
Oh,
and we made a chocolate, we call it chocolate goddess clusters, and they were like a raw brownie.
mhm.
Really good. Some chia chipotle crackers. So they're, everything's dehydrated,
Yeah.
yeah. So we were in Whole Foods and Central Market and some of the other stores too. We sold to a bigger company, and that company went out of business at one point in time. But we had we had banana walnut bites. We had walnuts that we had that would you eat them and it tastes like you're eating banana nut bread. It's really, really,
Cool.
yeah, really good stuff.
How fun. How long did you have that business for, Mark?
Maybe 3 years, something like that.
That's great. That's great penetration in that time as well to be in all those stores.
Hmm. It was tough business to work with distributors and the shelf life and all that stuff. It required you get to a certain level, and then it requires a big influx of cash to take to the next level. And yeah, we got out of it, and the other company grew. I think they grew too fast and ran out of cash, and closed out. So
Yeah. It can happen. It's always that fine balance, isn't it? Like looking at cash flow, looking at your growth. Because, like you said, as you get bigger, suddenly you've got to outlay for all your ingredients, for all, no one's
mhm.
paying you for that, right? And then you're getting 60-day, 120-day net terms after delivery. It's a long
Mhm.
period to cover. So, and that's imperishables. Don't know if I'd be brave enough to do
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And all the other products, food products, they put chemicals in there where they stuff has a shelf life of several years.
yeah,
Ours had a shelf life of maybe a year.
right.
So it was it's tough. So
Totally. Even the transportation then changes too, doesn't it?
yes, ma'am, sure does. So who, if you were to do a sales speech to somebody who's watching this, to tell them the differences of your brand compared to everybody else's, what would you say your major differences are?
Sure. The major difference between Tampon Tribe and the other brands on the market is the ingredient that we use, which is 100% GOTS and ICEA certified organic cotton, which has no chemicals, no toxins, no pesticides, and is totally safe. We have third-party testing on our website as well as the GOTS and ICEA certifications. So that really sets us apart from the other period product companies on the market. And we use that level of cotton throughout all of our products. We're also the only US company in the period space to be totally plastic free. And that's something that's really important to us. We're stewards of the planet.
How
So
about pricing?
Pricing is pretty standard. The big difference, of course, going from a very cheap product to an organic product, it is more expensive.
Mhm.
However, you do use less of them. And that's one thing that particularly new customers realize. Because a lot of the cheaper products are propped up by chemicals and preservatives within the product, from what we've understood, what from what we understand and the reports we get back, not just from industry, but from our users, is that your period lasts a lot longer, is a lot more painful because of the chemicals in these products.
Wow.
So, yeah, we
Wow.
have nearly
I'm
every.
learning all kind of things about periods here today.
It's so funny because when I started the company, I didn't realize I'd be talking about this like literally on a daily basis. But it's fascinating because we have people say, but wait a second, I can buy 18 of these at the same price of, 10 of yours. I'm like, yeah, but you only use 10. And once people get into it, they're like, oh my gosh, I'm only using 10. I'm like, yeah.
Yep. So you can pay a little less and use more of them and have
Hmm.
way more pain,
Hmm.
or you can do something that's healthy for yourself. Work with this wonderful lady here and do your body a favor.
100%. And it's like anything, we would love that if organic cotton was as cheap as rayon, but it's not, like our raw materials,
Mhm.
obviously are high quality, it costs money.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, but the investment in your body, and I think you speak a lot about this as well, Mark, is your overall wellness. So is it a small investment now that is going to
Pay
help you
dividends. Yeah, pay dividends in the long run.
100% help you
Yeah,
through your endometriosis, PCOS. And even if you have none of those, just know that you're being, good and healthy for your body, like not interrupting your endocrine system.
right.
And we forget about that. People going through a lot of infertility and going through strange hormone fluctuations. Sometimes it's as simple as switching over your tampon to an organic product.
Yeah,
We don't
and the
say it cures or ills, we're
yeah,
not saying that, but give it a go, right? Try that first.
yeah, the endocrine system is really fascinating too. That it produces chemicals we recognize as feelings, right?
Right.
So if you're putting toxicity in your body, it's going to like the thymus. The thymus produces the chemicals for fear. It also produces the chemicals for courage.
Hmm.
So if you put something then that's toxic to the thymus gets stuck in producing the chemicals for fear, and it can't produce the chemicals for courage. So the person will live a watered down version of life and operate from a place of fear. What's going to happen to me? And all those conversations, head chatter associated with it, or because of the toxicity in the thymus. Fascinating how this works.
Really? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely. And I don't know how we've become so disassociated from our bodies.
Well, great. Yeah, because we've been trained to be that way. You know, and that really doesn't matter. This doesn't matter, and people begin to believe it doesn't matter. But people begin to believe in I'm not good enough. I can't do this. It doesn't really matter. And once they start to do that, they go into this state of resignation.
Mm.
So anyway, I can this is my wheelhouse here, so I can
I,
start talking on it.
I love it. I'm fascinated by it as well. And it was funny, I was speaking with my team earlier today, and one of the best things I think as you get older is being wrong, and then learning something new
Yeah.
and growing. And so uh, I I am fascinated by what you're saying, and I think always seeking out
Mm.
in, new.
And me too. Appreciate the course in periods. This is awesome.
Everything's important though, and we're a system. Nothing works in
Yeah, yeah,
isolation, right?
yeah, yeah. Everything means something.
Totally.
So, what's the best way for people to contact you and get in touch with your products, or do you give free samples? No,
Yeah,
no,
we
you do,
sometimes give free samples, huh?
you do.
Very occasionally. If depends. If you're going to sell us in your store, yes, I'll send you a free sample. However, we do have some sample packs that we sell online.
Mhm.
If you want to try the range, and they're $5, free shipping, and we also include a voucher with that as well. You'll get an email with an $8 voucher to the store. So it's kind of a free sample, but we're also a small business, so
Yeah, that's
we like
great,
to
man. That's an
ship everything out.
awesome. Yeah, really. Here, try it. Here's try it again.
Mhm.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we want people to be happy with the product, you know. I mean,
Yeah.
uh, that's important to us. So yeah, you can find us online, tampontribe.com. We're also on TikTok and Instagram, Facebook, and if you send the team a message, if you want to contact me directly, I will get that. We're also on Amazon and in some of the local stores. So you'll find us often in the little refillery stores and the natural stores in your, you know, in your hometown. We're seeing a really great growth in that, which is exciting for me and probably for yourself, Mark. People who are starting organic stores, not
Hmm.
necessarily health food stores, but just selling small products, small batches, refillery products like they used to when our
Hmm.
grandparents perhaps were, you know,
Hmm.
alive. So we're there as well.
Awesome. I have one question to end on. What do you really love about life?
I love the opportunities that life brings. I think that every morning I wake up and I put 2 feet on the ground, I'm happy. No matter what's happened overnight, all the stresses that is going on, I embrace every day and I'm always excited about what opportunity and what experience lies ahead.
Awesome. Well, thank you for being on the Wellness Revolution. And if anybody chooses to get in touch with you, you have her email address. And if anybody chooses to get in touch with me from the Compass Life, just email Mark at Encompass Life, and we'll see if I can get you a free sample too. Anyway, have a beautiful, blessed day, and thank you for being on.
Thanks for having me, Mark.
You're welcome.